And a good snowy Monday to you on this 4th of February 2019 here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Eric Granstrom with you, filling in for the vacationing Dan Coots. Hope you had a good weekend. Super Bowl yesterday. The weather is certainly interesting here today, not only for here in the Wenatchee Valley, but around the state. And Western Washington received quite a slug of snow. We'll talk about that with our weather forecast coming up in just a few moments. See what's happening on the area roads as well as up in the mountain passes with the snowfall, and how much of this can we expect and how long will it last, and definitely some also cold temperatures this morning. What do we have? 18 degrees right now as we are just a minute past the hour here as we get ready for this back to work Monday, back to school Monday. I know there's a delay for a lot of the schools, a lot of high schools on a delay start. So no word so far from any of the area school districts as far as any delays or closures and such because of the wintry conditions. But we'll keep you abreast of that as we continue here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Coming up this morning, we are on the countdown towards the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival selection pageant coming up on Saturday at the Wenatchee High School Auditorium. Of course, you can watch it here live on the NCW Life channel. We will introduce you to 2 of the 10 candidates each week, each day of the week here, right here on the Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be meeting candidates number 1 and 2 a little bit later on today. It'll be Lorena, Zepeda, and Bailey White to be introduced to you, the viewing audience, coming up later on this morning here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Of course, the latest in the news as well as sports. We understand we have a power outage this morning up in the Waterville Plateau area. We'll tell you more about that with the Douglas PUD in just a few moments. Right now, as we do each and every morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we'll start things off with our camera views, thanks to the folks at LocalTel Sky-Fi Wireless Network for the views this morning. Yeah, we also have some wind. You can see the camera kind of buffeting a little bit here in the wind this morning. This is right here in downtown Wenatchee, looking on the avenue facing to the north. And you can see that road crews have been out this morning, have been working the area roads, but do expect some slippery conditions with it only being 18 degrees and some light snowfall and light precipitation. So give yourself plenty of time to clear the windows off the car this morning and get it nice and warm before you head on to your morning commute, and give yourself plenty of distance between yourself and the person in front of you, especially when you come up to those intersections like right there at 1st and Wenatchee Avenue. That's camera 1 looking downtown. Camera 2, I don't know how much we're going to see this morning with the snowfall. Here we are above the city of Cashmere. Sleepy morning this morning in Cashmere. You can see folks navigating Highway 2 down below in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Looks like DOT's been doing a good job of keeping up on the snowfall here today so far. But lovely view this morning with the new mantle of snow cascading down upon the city of Cashmere from our Apple Annie's camera. Camera 3 this morning, thanks to the folks at Sky-Fi with LocalTel. Looks like we're trying to, is this looking from McNeil Canyon? Okay, so we're looking across. You can't really make out the waters of Lake Chelan. It would be just over that hump in the middle of the screen there is where you could see Lake Chelan. But this morning, a little sliver of the Columbia River off to the right of the screen, lower right of the screen too. But fog and some low clouds and snow definitely impacting our view this morning here for the Valley View cams provided by Sky-Fi. And finally, camera number 4 this morning, as Uriah switches us around and oh, it's Malaga. Okay. All right. Boy, yeah, can't see a lot here this morning. Yeah, that's the hard part, just trying to choose which camera you can have any kind of a view at all this morning. But there you just see a few little lights of the early morning Malaga skyline here today. Thanks again to LocalTel Sky-Fi Wireless Network for providing us our Valley View cameras this morning. All right, so as we finish up a look at the cameras, let's talk about that weather forecast here for today. It is cold. And it is snowing, and it is expected to continue to snow today. In fact, there's a winter weather advisory in effect for our area until later on today, in fact, to tomorrow morning. Here's what's happened in Western Washington, just to give you a little snippet of what's happening on the west side. And you can imagine the folks in Western Washington don't do so well with the snow. But I talked to my dad on the phone last night. He said it started snowing just about kickoff of the Super Bowl. He had about 5 inches when I talked to him last night. He's a little north of Arlington, so there you see 10 inches at North Bend, 7 at Arlington and Everett and Lake Stevens, 6.5 inches at Woodinville, 6 in Linwood, 5.5 at Edmonds. SeaTac even getting 3 inches of snow, and that has really snarled traffic on I-5 and just about every arterial over in western Washington this morning. Now, as far as our weather forecast here for the Wenatchee Valley and north central Washington, looking at snow showers, cloudy skies today, a high temperature expected to be about 28 degrees. The snow chance pretty good off and on throughout the day today. No real accumulations are expected, maybe an inch to 3 here for the Wenatchee Valley. Of course, you get into the higher elevations a little bit more than that. Also, some windy conditions today with gusts out of the northwest. This is part of that Arctic air mass that's being shoved down from Canada that's causing these really cold temperatures. And you see as we get through the week, it's going to continue cold, not only through this week, but into next week. Low tonight down to 16. Tomorrow we're going to have a clear day. In fact, it'll be a gorgeous day in the valley if we don't have any fog. 28 for the high tomorrow, 14 for the low tomorrow night, and another sunny and cold day on Wednesday. A few clouds coming in on Thursday, maybe a slight chance of snow returning for Friday, and then off and on chance of light snow for Saturday and Sunday. And again, these cold temperatures expected to last all the way through next week. We are at 18 degrees, and you see the little wind that's buffeting our cameras this morning. According to the latest up at the airport at Pangbourne, the wind speeds are calm, but we did have some gusts this morning earlier at 15 miles an hour or thereabouts. Looks like that might be affecting our camera view this morning. 18 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley as we are 6 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at what's happening up in the mountain passes. As you can imagine, if we have snow here, they have snow there. In fact, Snoqualmie was the worst looking pass earlier this morning, and such is the case again right now with a traction tire requirement. That means change required for the big rigs, nothing over 10,000 pounds available for going over Snoqualmie Pass. It's currently snowing, snow and slush on the roadway, 27 degrees at the summit of Snoqualmie Pass. Again, traction tires are required both directions. Stevens Pass also looking like an ice rink this morning at the latest report with a traction tire advisory in effect for Stevens Pass. Snow and slush on the roadway, currently snowing in 23 degrees at Stevens with that snow conditions falling. In fact, the latest camera that I've got on my screen here shows that really not a lot of traffic on Stevens. Also, not much happening on Blewett Pass because Blewett also an ice rink this morning. Boy, look at the snow there, and it doesn't look like the plows have done more than just one lane in both directions. But a traction tire advisory in effect for Blewett Pass as well, with snowing there and 17 degrees. Again, 18 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley this morning. The latest local news comes your way in just a few moments. Also, sports news on the way. Our obscure holiday, this day in history. A couple of birthdays to pass along, and Mike Magnotti with a new opinion, because everybody's entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. It's all coming up right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this 4th of February 2019. We'll also talk about Punxsutawney Phil coming up as we are 8 minutes past the hour. News coming up next. Stay right there.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
Thanks for joining us on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz for the next couple of weeks while Dan's on vacation in much warmer climes. We're at 18 degrees. It feels like 8 with the wind chill out there as we have your latest local news at 9 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. They think it's a weather-related outage this morning. We had word on Twitter this morning from the Douglas County PUD, 250 customers of the PUD up on the Waterville Plateau without power, maybe weather related. No estimate for a restoration of that, but crews were on the way, and that was at 5 o'clock this morning. So hopefully those folks in Waterville, if they don't have their power back already, it will be back here shortly. In other news this morning, East Wenatchee Mayor Steve Lacy says he's going to order an independent probe into grievances by rank-and-file police officers against the department and chief. Last week, a Teamsters Union Local 760 representative read a letter before the East Wenatchee City Council outlining officers' complaints about a perceived lack of training and other issues of concern. In the letter, they say, quote, "We have lost all trust, faith, and confidence in Chief Randy Harrison and Assistant Chief Ray Cobal's ability to lead the East Wenatchee Police Department," end quote. Union Business Representative Dan Simmons announced at a meeting that 16 of 18 officers approved a no-confidence vote against the chief and assistant chief. Mayor Steve Lacy says he plans to issue a statement soon in response to that letter.
I'm still in the process of pursuing that. I intend to make a public announcement with respect to at least my findings with respect to the contents of that letter that was read before the City Council probably in the next several days. But as far as the resolution of all the issues that have arisen that I've discovered with respect to the unrest or the dissatisfaction existing in the police department, that's going to take a lot longer. I intend to go out for an outside professional review of the department, something that we had planned to do later this year anyway, but now I've moved up the timeline on that. And as far as whatever ultimate outcomes will be for the police department in light of that review, we won't know that for 3 or 4 months.
The mayor says the review panel will be comprised of retired and former law enforcement officials from outside the area. He says that review could take several months to complete. Simmons and Lacy's actions calling for an independent investigation is appropriate. A longtime Wenatchee area emergency services volunteer has passed away. You may remember Rick Isaacson for the work he performed as a public information officer during many disasters in Chelan and Douglas County.
We have a approximately 100-acre fire down here in the Monitor area at this little junction where Easy Street pours out onto Highway 2. The fire is to the north of us and running to the east.
The man was just incredible. He has been actively involved with the Wenatchee Police Department's VIPS program, the American Red Cross. He was a board member there. He volunteered with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office and their emergency management, search and rescue. And he was so active with the Chelan County Fire District 1 department. He has created a lot of holes right now, and he's going to be severely missed.
The Chelan County Fire District 1 Assistant Chief Mike Burnett commenting on Isaacson's passing. He died of natural causes last Thursday at the age of 69. Rick moved to the Wenatchee Valley after retiring as a sergeant with the Everett Police Department. Rick recently celebrated his 11th anniversary with Chelan County Search and Rescue. He's being recognized as a dedicated volunteer to many local organizations, including the Red Cross, Wenatchee Police Department, VIPS, and Chelan County Fire Department. In part 2 of NCW Life's interview with Wenatchee School Board President Sunny Hemphill, she talks about a letter sent to the board by HYA, the consulting firm hired to help the district find a new superintendent. In that letter, HYA said good candidates were not applying because they had heard the district was only interested in a Latina. Hemphill flatly denies that.
I don't want to speculate about how this particular rumor began because I really want to believe the best of everyone. Rumors are rumors, and the more lurid they are, the faster they spread.
So there's no truth to it?
No one on our board made that comment.
The consultant's letter also said candidates were reluctant to sign a waiver granting access to their past personnel records because of concerns about, quote, a board dynamic that was not desirable, unquote. Hemphill said there was discussion of such a waiver, but it was never made a requirement.
That was a discussion. None of us had been through this process before, and there was a lot of anxiety about, oh my gosh, what if we hire someone and there's something hidden in their personnel record that we won't find out about until we actually hire them? And so the discussion came up, well, can we see their personnel records? And our consultant said, no, that's not a good idea. And that was the last I heard of it or thought about it.
Now, Hemphill discussed the dynamic on the school board that has often led to friction between members, including accusations that she, Michelle Sandberg, and Sarah Knox, all elected in 2017, were conducting board business outside regular meetings.
And I tell you what, we're all three very hard-headed. And we also, all three, are very ethical people. No, we are not creating board policy outside of the board.
And finally, she said she's very encouraged by the quality of applicants for the superintendent position.
Our superintendent search process is actually going incredibly well. We have brilliant candidates. I couldn't possibly be happier. And we are very excited for the next step in the process. I believe we are going to find a really incredible superintendent for Wenatchee schools.
In other news this morning, the Washington Apple Commission, along with several other ag groups, will share over $200 million in federal funds to help them deal with the impacts of ongoing foreign trade disputes. The Apple Commission will receive over $8.4 million from the Agriculture Trade Promotion Program, or ATP. The program is designed to help U.S. agricultural exports develop new markets and will help mitigate the adverse effects of other countries' tariff and non-tariff barriers. The ATP provides cost-share assistance for consumer advertising, public relations, point-of-sale demonstrations, participation in trade fairs and exhibits, market research, and technical assistance. Washington Apple Commission President Todd Fryover said, quote, "We appreciate the USDA's support of the apple industry and their understanding of the challenges we are facing due to retaliatory tariffs in our export markets. This funding will be key in building markets and reducing the impact on Washington apple producers," end quote. That's news at 17 past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this Monday, the 4th of February, 2019. Punxsutawney Phil, by the way, did not see his shadow over the weekend in Pennsylvania, so that apparently means that spring will be coming earlier. But, of course, now we have the snow and the cold, and currently 18 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley. Feels like about 8 out there with a little wind chill this morning. We do have a winter weather advisory with snow in the forecast up until tomorrow morning, so be careful if you're traveling around north central Washington. We'll take a break here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, come back and talk about sports and a super dud yesterday in Super Bowl 53. It's right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere, so when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
Put winter weather in its place with a new Cub Cadet snow thrower from Rose Tractor. Hi, this is Corey. Let us help you get through the season with our line of Cub Cadet snow throwers. When it comes to snow, never let winter weather get in your way. The Cub Cadet X Series line of snow throwers offers 3 levels of snow clearing power and a host of award-winning models. Get ahead of the snow. Let us help you get into the right snow thrower for the job. Rose Tractor, family owned and operated, located at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
19 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and time for sports as we get you through this Monday. We'll start off with the New England Patriots. Once again, the Super Bowl champions after a 13-3 win over the LA Rams in Super Bowl 53 yesterday in Atlanta. It will go down as the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history with just 16 points combined. New England led 3-0 at halftime, and the game was tied at 3 at the end of the third. The only touchdown, a 2-yard run by Sony Michel in just over 7 minutes left in the game. Julian Edelman was named the game's MVP with 10 receptions for 141 yards. Rams offense could only muster 260 total yards as Bill Belichick dialed up a great defensive performance. Patriots sacked Jared Goff 4 times, picked him off once. The only drive by the Rams deep into New England territory that came late in the ballgame. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have now 6 Super Bowl titles to their names, and Tom Brady, by the way, says he's coming back for another season. It was not such a super weekend for the Wenatchee Wild, dropping a game on the road in Penticton on Friday night and then coming home Saturday, losing as well. On Friday at the Okanagan Event Center, Penticton broke a 2-2 tie on Ryan Sandlin's 25th goal of the season. Deep in the third period, Veeds added another goal on an empty netter to make the final 4-2. Chad Suzuki, Matt Kuszewski scoring for Wenatchee. On Saturday, the Wild was hoping for the friendly confines of the Town Toyota Center would make the difference, especially on Guns and Hoses night. Not to be, though. Vernon outscored Wenatchee 2-0 in a shootout win. 2-1. Wenatchee got on the board late in the first, with the Vipers countering shortly into the second. The game would remain knotted at 1-1 through the third and into overtime and then into the shootout. By the way, Wenatchee's 4th shootout in their past 9 games. Arch Ecker had the call on the Wenatchee Wild, the Hockey Network.
Barger on the right wing. Ahead for Grabel. Grabel in his shot. He scores! Trevor Grabel. What a shot. And off the outside of the glove side post. Still has it. Centers in front, shot and a score. Connor Merritt had Grabel on him. He was trying to tie him up, but the feed came out of the left corner, and that will technically be a shorthanded goal. Shoveled up on the near side, and Stratton is going to press it up against the corner there and settle for the overtime hockey. And off the draw, cleanly won nicely by Fletcher as he gets it into the corner, presses it there, and we're going to run out of time. The horn sounds. So for the 4th time this year, the Wenatchee Wild will have a game decided by a shootout. The Vipers will send out Connor Merritt. It's his first shootout attempt. He's a left-hander, carves way over wide to his right. He's in, he shoots, and he scores. Murphy Stratton will be called on to try to even things up. Stratton, the right-hander from the near side. He cuts way over to the right. He's in. He waits. He dangles. Backhander is turned aside. As Kowalski will come in. If he scores, it's over. He's a right-handed shot. Cuts way wide to the near side. Dangles across, shoots, and he scores. Sandquist kind of stuttered, and his stick got tangled up. I think he thought about poke checking and was unable to pull it off, and Kowalski buries it. And it's a 2-1 shootout victory for the Vipers.
So the Wenatchee Wild will try to snap that 2-game losing skid. They're going to be on the road this weekend. They'll be at Cowichan Valley on Friday and then at Victoria Saturday in BCHL play. Other sports, congratulations to the Eastmont girls bowling team on yet another state championship. Eastmont won its 3rd consecutive state title Saturday by outpacing Pasco and Wenatchee with 7,477 pins. So incredibly, state championship trophy remains in the Wenatchee Valley for the 4th straight year. Individually, we had 4 bowlers placed in the top 10. Eastmont's Alicia Hastings was 4th, Sky Wilson 7th, Wenatchee's Emily Groth was 9th, and Hannah Johnson 10th. Congratulations to the ladies on a job well done. Going back to Friday on the Les Schwab Prep girls basketball scoreboard, Wenatchee won its first game of the year behind 4 impressive quarters of good basketball as they beat Eisenhower 55-38. Eastmont traveled to Davis, picked up a big win, 41-39. Olmec finished the Caribou Trail League season with a 47-37 win over Chelan, and Brewster beat Manson 72-25. Waterville Mansfield topped Bridgeport 66-35. Turning to the Les Schwab boys basketball scoreboard from Friday, Wenatchee had no trouble stopping Eisenhower 67-46 the final. Davis avenged an earlier loss to Eastmont, winning at home in Yakima 84-73 Friday. Olmec beat Chelan 66-49. It was Brewster downing Manson 79-38, and Bridgeport edged Waterville Waterville-Mansfield 60-52. Turning to the Les Schwab basketball scoreboards on Saturday, it was Oroville girls beating Manson 41-40. Lake Roosevelt edged Waterville-Mansfield 56-54. Turning to the boys' side, Oroville beat Manson 58-44, and Lake Roosevelt took care of Waterville-Mansfield 66-26. 8 wrestlers from Eastmont and Wenatchee will be heading to regionals after qualifying at the district tournament that was held in Eisenhower High School over the weekend in Yakima. Sunnyside won the team title with Wenatchee 4th, Eastmont 5th. Adrian Vivanco took 3rd at 138 pounds. The Wildcat Cesar Sidio was 2nd at 145 pounds. Eastmont's Landon McClune took 3rd at 152. It was an all-Wenatchee final at 160 as Jordan Velasquez beat teammate Jason Briley for the district title. Briley came back and won his consolation match to finish 2nd. Orlando Rodriguez placed 2nd at 170 pounds for the Panthers. And it was Wenatchee's Lucas Carranza beating Eastmont's Max Prazer 5-2 to win the district title. At 220 pounds, Prazer came back to pin his opponent to take 2nd. Regionals coming up this weekend at Big Bend Community College. 3 local girls advanced to state from the Region 4 sub-regional at Eastmont High School. That was held on Saturday over the weekend. Othello took 1st in the team scoring with Eastmont 2nd and Wenatchee 4th. The Panthers' Kelsey Ibarra took 3rd at 105 pounds. Her teammate Isabella Andrini placed 2nd at 130, and Eastmont's Joanna Bowman took 3rd at 135 pounds. Here's what's coming up this week on our sports schedule here on the NCW Life Channel. It begins on Tuesday, tomorrow night. Eastmont High School, the location for Sunnyside. The Grizzlies and the Wildcats will tip it up with the girls at 5:45. The boys will follow at about 7:30. We'll take the air at about 5:30 tomorrow following your latest local news here on the NCW Life Channel. Thursday is hockey night, of course. We'll have last Saturday's match between Vernon and Wenatchee. You just saw the highlights of that one. We'll have the game in its entirety coming up Thursday night, 7 o'clock, hockey night on the NCW Life Channel. And then Friday, we have Moses Lake and Wenatchee girls and boys at senior night at Wenatchee High School. The girls start first at 5:45. The boys follow at 7:30. Be sure and watch that live here on the NCW Life Channel. Speaking of watching things live, we also have the Kashmir Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant for the 2019 Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. That's coming up on Saturday. We'll have that live for you with our pre-show at 6:30, and then the actual program will start at 7 at Wenatchee High School's auditorium. We have a little sneak preview of that. You're going to meet 2 of our top 10 candidates. In fact, this young lady right here, Lorena Zepeda, and then Bailey White. We're going to introduce you to them. A little interview sit down coming up in the last half of this program this morning here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. So be sure and stay tuned for that, as we'll do 2 of the top 10 candidates each week here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And then Julie Agins-Kuntz will join yours truly for the broadcast, as we'll host it from the Wenatchee High School auditorium coming up at 7 o'clock or 6:30 with our pre-program Saturday night right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel, if you will. It is 28 minutes past the hour as we turn to our look at what's happening, kind of weird stuff in this day in history. First, we're going to start things off with the obscure holiday of the day today, and especially on a day like this. What is it? Neither rain nor snow nor dark of night shall prevent us from our rounds. National Thank Your Mail Carrier Day today. It used to be Thank Your Mailman Day, but we need to be general neutral here. So, and don't break your glasses in the meantime. Thank a Mailman Day, as it was originally called, a chance to say thanks to your guy or gal who delivers your mail. After all, they are there 6, and actually I'm seeing the mail trucks on Sundays too, so 7 days a week now. The reliable postal worker is always doing their job regardless of the weather. They are a hardy lot. You'll find some mail carriers on walking routes wearing shorts, even on a day like today when it's 18 degrees outside. So National Thank Your Mail Carrier Day is our obscure holiday today. Today is the 4th of February 2019, so let's take a look at what happened on this day in history. Looking back in 1789, George Washington is unanimously elected the first president of the United States by the Electoral College. He will be unanimously elected again in 1792 and remain the only U.S. president in history to receive the totality of electoral votes. We just talked about that with, Rivera, that the closer for the Yankees got all the votes, 100% of the votes from the National Baseball writers, and that was such an odd thing. Well, think about that. George Washington got all the electoral votes back in the day, looking at this date, 1789. George Washington, our first president. It was on this date in 1906, believe it or not, the New York Police Department began fingerprint identification. Look how far it has come today. With all the crime scene investigation, CSI stuff. Fingerprints are the start, but not the end of it. But your fingerprint, since you're born, your fingerprint stays pretty much the same unless you get a cut or burn or something like that along the way. But your fingerprint remains the same throughout your life. And your thumb different than your finger, and my fingers are different than yours. And that is an identifier now that police and everybody else uses to identify you, aside from your DNA, of course. So on this date in 1941, the United Service Organization, or USO, is formed to entertain armed force members and their families. And of course, the USO became synonymous with Bob Hope.
Yes, sir. This is Bob Hope wishing you a Merry Christmas from Keflavik, Iceland, the Miami Beach of the North. But everyone has the Christmas spirit around here. I know, I saw him passing it around. I told the USO, I think I'm getting a little too old to be traveling to Persian Gulf for Christmas. They said, baloney, the Ayatollah's older than you and he spends every Christmas there. This is Christmas Day, Vietnam. The guys here don't ask for much in Vietnam. In fact, the sergeant out here just said you're thrilled if you just wake up Christmas morning here. I plan to spend Christmas in the States, but I can't stand violence. I don't see any better way to spend a Christmas than spend it with you guys. And I want to tell you, we got a typical... We got a typical Korea welcome. I stepped off the plane and somebody stole it. You can tell it's an old plane. The pilot was sitting behind me. But I don't think we have to worry about him. A lot of people lift their feet on takeoff. I don't know how much experience he has flying, but when I asked him how long he'd been flying, he looked at his watch. This is Christmas Day, not quite the same at home, but still Christmas, complete with a GI version of Santa on his sleigh. And you haven't lived till you've seen an MP in a red suit and 6 sergeants with antlers. Stealth bomber, that's a big deal. Flies in undetected bombs and flies away. Hell, I've been doing that all my life.
Amazing Bob Hope, over 50 years of his career, starting in World War II, going through Vietnam, all the way to the Gulf War, outposts such as Alaska, battle zones in Beirut, battleships, USO, Bob Hope, now synonymous. And they are actually, if you go to the USO page, it is the Bob Hope USO page. Bob Hope, birthday, he was born on, or not born on this date, but 1941, the USO started, and it quickly became the Bob Hope USO. Birthdays, let's get to that here today. First of all, celebrating, well, it was a birthday for Charles Lindbergh on this date. In 1902, of course, the first man to fly solo across the Atlantic, Charles Lindbergh, born on this date in 1902. Rosalie Parks was born on this date. In 1913, refused to give up her seat on a loaded bus to a white person. She became a symbol for civil rights. Rosa Parks, born on this date in 1913. Dan Quayle, he's still around, celebrating his 72nd birthday today. Of course, the former vice president under President George H.W. Bush, and just became known as a guy who couldn't spell for one reason or another, but actually a pretty smart guy despite that. He just didn't come across well. Dan Quayle celebrating his 72nd birthday today. Believe it or not far behind him, Alice Cooper is 71 today. His actual birth name, Vincent Damon Furnier, the godfather of shock rock, born in Detroit, Michigan, whose career spans 50 years. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2011. Happy birthday to Alice Cooper. And our former general manager, Kelly Hart, celebrated a birthday yesterday. Now, I couldn't quite figure it out. I'm thinking that Kelly's about 59. He is currently the general manager and talk show host at Core Community Radio. Kelly Hart, happy birthday. 59, I think, today. So those are the birthdays for the day today on this 4th day of February 2019. 18 degrees. We have a winter weather advisory all the way through today and into tomorrow with snow. It is slick out there with snow and ice on the roadways. Passes are getting hammered too, so be very careful and give yourself plenty of time to get to where you need to go this morning. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, Mike Magnotti. Everybody's entitled to his opinion. We'll also introduce you to two of our top 10 candidates today. Candidate 1 is Lorena Zepeda. She'll be up in just a few moments, and then she'll be followed by Candidate 2, Bailey White, as we get ready for the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant coming up Saturday right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Paprika mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull. Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Like I've said before, I'm a regular churchgoer, so I run into this guy who I used to see at church, and as I haven't seen him for a while, I asked him, where's he been? Is everything okay? He said, I stopped coming, and the reason was I've been going there to church for a year, and no one has ever invited me out to lunch. Now, what kind of reason is that? Was he going to church to arrange lunch dates? And what I should have asked him is, did you ever invite anyone to lunch? Wouldn't it be a good idea if maybe we should do unto others what we would have them do to you, rather than expect people to do to you just because you happen to be there? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Kashmir. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Kashmir, the coolest place in town.
There's no substitute for the power of cable TV advertising. With Solion Cable TV advertising, you can reach your target audience right here in North Central Washington. We understand their viewing habits and can precisely target your customers on great cable networks like these. Call Solion Broadcasting today and let us show you how to put your business message right in front of thousands of prospects at a very affordable price. Solion Broadcasting, 509-888-2020.
Welcome to our Top 10 candidate interviews here on the NCW Life Channel. We're now introducing you to our first candidate in no particular order, but she's number one as far as the list is concerned. We have Lorena Zepeda here, who is the daughter of Martha Fuentes and David Zepeda. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You bet. First of all, the easiest question, tell me just a little bit about yourself.
I am an Eastmont student. I have attended Eastmont most of my life. I grew up here in Wenatchee. I was born here, however, I have not lived here my entire life. And I consider myself a runner. I run cross country and track and field, and I have been doing it for my past 4 years. And yeah, I run most of the time.
Okay. You ran this morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a regular thing for you?
It's a habit for the weekends, and since today we didn't go to school, I went for a run.
That's right. It was a day off today. So what has running, let's see, you're cross country and track, right? So what has that taught you?
Running, not only has it taught me to persevere through the toughest times, but it has also contributed to the person that I am today, because I became stronger and I can last longer while I run.
So what's the farthest you've run? Have you done like a marathon or anything like that?
So last summer, I was involved in a team with 7 of my best friends, and it's called the Ragnar Relay. And in that relay, we ran 120 miles nonstop.
Oh my
and
gosh.
So I had to run at midnight and at 4 in the morning, which I don't wake up at that time. But it was super fun. We ran up a hill, down a hill, around the hill. It was amazing.
So it was the same course just over and over and over? Wow. So you guys finished. What was that feeling like when you finished?
So when we finished all together, and we were 3rd out of all of the teams that were there, but we were 1st for the high school divisions. So
That's awesome.
It was super fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I was looking through your bio, and La Chispa?
La Chispa.
La Chispa. What is that?
It's a program dedicated towards Hispanic students, and in that program, I was chosen to be a mentor. And so basically all I do is I talk to the students in either or both English and Spanish, and we encourage the students to pursue a career for the future.
Okay. Is that just high school, or is it any age, or?
The students are from 5th grade to 8th grade.
Okay. All right. Being in that position, what has that done for you?
It has certainly opened my mind to speaking in not only English but also Spanish to peers who look up to me for being a student, and they can relate to me because we have the same background, and it has been impactful.
Great. Why did you decide to run for Apple Blossom Festival?
The reason why I chose to run for Apple Blossom was because when I told my mom that I got a letter in the mail saying that I could participate, she told me that I should, and she encouraged me. And seeing all the girls do it, they did their speech in front of the entire high school, and I thought that was really cool. And I was really proud of them, and then I decided that I wanted to be just like them.
Was that a surprise for you, for your mom to say, go for it?
It did not surprise her, but it surprised me.
Yeah. I see in your bio that you like to embroider.
Yes.
Who taught you that?
So that's a funny question. I taught myself. So one day, I decided, hey Mom, I'm going to work on some embroidery work. And then she said, go ahead. Like, I had the tools that we needed. And then I took an old t-shirt that I had and I embroidered a pomegranate with seeds. And
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you just decided to do that?
Yeah, well,
Well, does your mom embroider, or you have relatives that embroider?
She knits, and she's really skillful with yarn and stuff.
Okay.
And she has a lot of tools, and I watch her a lot, but I taught myself.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you say you want to go into aeronautical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do with that?
Airplanes fascinate me. What am I going to do with that? I want to study more. I want to see what airplanes are like, how they fly. I would like to either design them or like something with their engines, or I don't know. I'm really into engineering.
Okay. So you must be good in math.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. Good. Any interest in being a pilot, or just the design part and you stay on the ground?
The design part. I'm not going to be a pilot.
Okay. What do you like most about the Apple Blossom Festival?
So far, I've been to many Apple Blossom festivals, and I really enjoy the parade. The parade is something that just brings the whole town together, and we all just sit and watch, and then we go to the food fair and eat food.
What do you think will be your lasting memory of this experience, of being a part of the top 10 and going after this, maybe being the top 3 and maybe even being a queen?
My lasting memory, well, we have learned a lot from
That's what people don't understand, is that there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. If they just watch the pageant, they're missing out on everything else you guys are learning, right?
Mm-hmm. And I had no idea that the candidates went through this process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one thing to get that introductory where you sit down with Darcy and they say, okay, here's what is going to happen if you choose to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing being a top 10 and actually doing it, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So what's been your favorite part so far?
My favorite part has been getting to meet the people that have taught us
Mm-hmm.
how to speak, how to take care of yourself, how to manage time, how to speak.
So the whole, the makeup part of it too, I mean, that's considerable.
Mm-hmm.
Training for makeup and hair and things like that, has
Well,
that been pretty good?
before I got myself into this, I did not wear makeup at all.
Oh, really?
And so while my mom and I were shopping for makeup, I told my mom, hey, like, I could get used to this. I kind of like it.
Do you have anything to add to let people know a little bit more about Lorena?
I was born here, but at the age of 4, I moved over and lived in a different country. I lived in Mexico for about 5 years, and I learned the language, I learned the culture, but then we came back about 8 years ago, and now I'm back here in my hometown, and I really like and appreciate the Wenatchee Valley, especially because I got to see the 2 different cultures, different foods, different societies, and I really like it here.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Well, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Candidates, Lorena Zepeda joining us here on the NCW Life channel.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Channel's interviews with the top 10. I'm Eric Granstrom, and joining me now we have candidate Bailey White, who is the daughter of Will and Christy White. Bailey, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good. For the audience and for everybody, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm a senior at Wenatchee High School. I am co-editor-in-chief of the school newspaper, The Apple Leaf. I'm involved in DECA, and I'm an ASB coordinator, so I stay pretty busy, but I also like to spend a lot of time with my family. We hike and play games and stuff like that.
Okay. What has being the co-editor of the newspaper taught you?
Oh man, so much. I have been a part of the newspaper for 3 years. This is my first year being editor-in-chief. I was also an editor last year. I think the biggest thing it's taught me is that it is always important to value the people that you work with. So I had someone once tell me that you always need to keep in the back of your mind people over publication. And when you love people well and they know that you care about them, that they are going to produce the best work for you, and then ultimately the newspaper will be better for it. So
you have those deadlines. You have those deadlines like that.
Yeah.
But so how do you show that you care about everybody that's trying to get the work done?
Yeah, so we have about 20 reporters and 10 editors, and we have 9 deadlines. So it does get pretty crunch. We spend a lot of hours in a little back room of the high school. But I think for me, on the very first day of school, my goal was that by the end of the day, I would have had a personal conversation with every single person there and know everyone's name. And so since then, I think it's just little goals like that and getting to like genuinely know the people that I work with. It's a really cool thing. I love the people on the Apple Leaf.
Okay. Now you say in your bio that you're a tutor after school.
I am.
So
yes.
What do you tutor and who are you tutoring?
Yes, good question. So I work at the After School Homework Center at Wenatchee High School, though actually I am taking a month off for this. But when I am there, I tutor. Often it's my peers, so it's people that go to the high school, so it could be anyone that's a senior, but often it is freshmen. So I specialize in English and history and that kind of thing, but I also do math if I have to. And so it's just a lot of helping people with homework and studying for tests and stuff like that.
Okay. Why did you decide to run for Apple Blossom?
Good question. So I moved to the Valley in 6th grade. So I haven't lived here my whole life, but the moment I moved here, I absolutely loved it. But I think one thing about 6th graders is that that's when I started being really aware of like myself and those around me. And I think Apple Blossom is a really cool opportunity to be a role model to younger girls. So I remember in 7th grade or 8th grade, I remember Francesca was the princess. And one thing that I really, really loved about her is that sometimes I would see pictures of her and she would have left her hair natural. So for Apple Blossom, one thing we have to do is we have to do our hair a lot, but my hair is naturally really curly. And so as a 7th grader or an 8th grader, looking at Francesca, that was a really cool thing because she was this senior who was she was royalty, she was older, she was really pretty, but also she was embracing her natural hair, and that was a big deal for me. So I think as top 10 now and just getting this opportunity, I think it's a real honor to be able to be a role model for people in the community and young girls.
So you say in your bio that you like picnics.
I do.
What is the perfect picnic food?
Oh, cheese. I love cheese. If I can go on a picnic, we always have cheese at my house because my mom loves me and knows that I love cheese. And so it's perfect because it goes on bread, or you can eat it plain and you can bring it anywhere. So I always bring cheese on picnics.
Any particular type of cheese?
Yes, I love Beecher Flagship. You can get it at Costco. And when my mom really wants to treat me, she'll buy it for me. So that's my favorite. I had some this morning, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So is this a spread? Is it just chunk cheese?
Hard cheese.
Hard cheese.
Hard cheese,
okay.
yeah.
So do you do a cracker? Do you do bread? Do you do grapes? What do you do?
Plain. I really just like a plain.
Okay.
I'm definitely a plain eater.
All right. You say that you want to go into marketing and social or political science.
Yes.
So are you going to be a politician? What are you going to do with that?
My dream is to be a campaign manager. I think that's a really cool way. You get to market people, right? So I have always had a passion for marketing, but I think for me it was a little bit difficult because I really want to believe in my product, and I think hopefully the thing that I will believe in most would be my candidate and what they can do for our country or for the world. So that's my dream.
That's interesting. So what if you have someone that comes to you and wants you to be their campaign manager, but you're not necessarily in line maybe with their politics?
Hopefully I would cross that bridge when I get there, but honestly, I don't know. I think it depends. Right now, as an 18-year-old living in Wenatchee, Washington, I think I would hope that I would say no and that I would move on and that I would work with someone who did align with my beliefs, but we'll see. I think it just depends on, I think for me, it really comes down to what I think they can do for the country and where I think their intentions lie, right? Because we all disagree on a lot of different things. But I really believe in people's intentions. And I think if they have good intentions, there is good that can be done, even if it doesn't exactly align with me. So I don't know, we'll see.
Okay, fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. So what do you think will be your lasting memory of this experience, of going through the top 10 and all of this?
I think the biggest thing I'm gonna take away is just the joy that comes with certain things that we do. My very favorite Apple Blossom thing is when we do dance rehearsal. I'm not a dancer at all. I'm terrible. I danced for 1 year in 4th grade. I was back row, but I think while we're doing that dance number, it's a really cool dance number. I'm really excited for people to see it. I'm right in the front because I'm speaker number 2, and so I think that for me really summarizes this experience because there's nothing like, it's like the ultimate team sport. Like dancing, we're all out there, we're all having fun, our escorts are on stage, the MCs are on stage. And so I don't know if that specifically would be the memory, but I think just the joy and the teamwork with the other girls that are a part of the top 10 and our chaperones and everybody that's like been there for us.
The challenge of taking you out of your element a little bit then too.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else that you would like to add about you for our viewing audience?
Oh man. I don't know, just that I'm really excited to do this. It's a really cool opportunity. I love Apple Blossom, and I think all the girls would say, but it's just being a part of Top 10 has been a total blessing so far, and I'm really excited for the next 2 weeks. So, yeah.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Candidate Bailey White. Bailey, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. We'll come back with more here on our Top 10 candidate interviews on the NCW Life channel.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Couple of minutes left of the show. Thanks to Lorena, Zepeda, and Bailey White for joining us on our candidate top 10 interviews. We'll have 2 more coming up each day this week here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Coming up tomorrow, we'll learn more about Ellie Toth and Citlali Gonzalez Arroyo. That's all during the top 10 candidate interviews here on the NCW Life channel as we get ready for the Kashmir Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant coming up Saturday. Broadcast live here on the NCW Life channel on Channel 12, on Local Channel 19 on Charter. We'll stream it on our website at ncwlife.com. Also, you can watch it streaming on our Facebook page this Saturday night with our pre-program starting at 6:30, the Royalty Selection Pageant starting at 7. By the way, we have local sponsors. Thank you to them. Antique Mall of Kashmir, Boswell's Home Furnishings, Club Crow Bar and Grill, Caldwell Banker Levine, also Cullen's Fashions, East Wenatchee Mobile Storage, Highlander Golf Course, Merry Maids, and Walkabout Grill. thanks to their sponsorship for helping us bring that pageant to you. 18 degrees right now in the Wenatchee Valley. We have a winter weather advisory. They have scaled back on that, cut it off at noon today, and the snow is really supposed to diminish at about 10 o'clock this morning, and then just some light snow off and on. 28 for our high today. Tonight's low down to 16. Tomorrow we'll see mostly fair skies and 28 degrees again. As you see, cold temperatures continuing with this Arctic air mass that is moving down from Canada and influencing what's happening here in north central Washington. The passes at the last check from the Department of Transportation, it is snowing up there, as you can imagine. They had a traction requirement, traction tires required on Snoqualmie Pass earlier. Still the case with chains required for the big rigs. Blewett and Stevens also getting some snow and ice on the roadway. Traction tires are advised. That's going to do it for this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Be sure and join us for your latest local news at 5, 6, and 10 with Grant Olson. Have a good day.